When the summer sun turns modern homes into ovens, Amish families stay cool without flipping a single switch. No air conditioners, no ceiling fans, just smart design, old world habits, and a deep understanding of nature's rhythm. It's not magic, it's a method, and it works better than you'd think. When most people build a house, they think about making it look pretty or fitting in as many rooms as possible. The Amish approach this completely differently. They build walls so thick you could probably hide a small horse behind them. These aren't your typical modern homes with thin drywall that lets every bit of summer heat sneak right through. Amish construction uses dense wood planks, sometimes up to 8 inches thick, combined with materials like heavy timber framing and thick stone foundations. This creates what engineers call thermal mass, but the Amish just call it common sense. These thick walls work like a giant cooler that keeps the cold in and the heat out. The science behind this is actually pretty fascinating. While your neighbor's house with thin walls heats up like an oven by noon, Amish homes stay remarkably cool because those thick materials absorb heat very slowly. During the hottest part of the day, when the sun is beating down mercilessly, the thick walls are still working their way through the heat from early morning. By the time they might start warming up inside, the sun has already moved on. What makes this even more impressive is that Amish builders achieve this without any of the modern artificial insulation materials you find in regular homes. No foam boards, no fiberglass bats, no fancy reflective barriers, just solid, dense materials doing what they do best, naturally keeping the indoor temperature stable. The temperature difference is remarkable. On a blazing 95-degree summer day, the inside of an Amish home typically stays between 80 to 85 degrees without any mechanical cooling. That might not sound like much, but when you're comparing it to homes that can reach 90 degrees or higher inside, those 5 to 10 degrees make the difference between being uncomfortably hot and being reasonably comfortable. These walls are built so thick, when the pizza delivery guy knocks, it takes 3 seconds for the sound to make it through. This thick wall approach also creates another benefit that most people don't realize. The walls act like a thermal buffer, meaning they don't just keep heat out during the day, they also keep the cool nighttime air trapped inside well into the next morning. So while everyone else is cranking up their air conditioners at sunrise, Amish families are still enjoying the cool air from the night before. The beauty of this system is its simplicity. No moving parts, no electricity required, no maintenance schedules, and no monthly bills. Just smart building practices that work with nature instead of fighting against it. Of course, even the thickest walls need some help from strategic airflow. Here's where things get really clever. Most people open every window they can find when it gets hot, hoping to catch any breeze that might be wandering by. The Amish have turned window management into an art form that would make any engineer jealous. The secret starts with knowing which windows to keep shut. South-facing windows get slammed closed during daylight hours because that's where the sun hits hardest. Those windows stay locked up tighter than a bank vault until evening rolls around. Meanwhile, windows on the north side of the house, or any windows that stay in the shade, get cracked open to let air flow through. This creates something called cross-ventilation, which is just a fancy way of saying air moves through the house in a specific pattern. Cool air comes in through the shaded north windows, flows through the house, and pushes the warm air up and out through windows that are open just a crack on the upper floors. The timing of this whole operation is crucial. During the hottest part of the day, when the sun is directly overhead and beating down like a hammer, most windows stay closed to keep that scorching air outside where it belongs. But as soon as the sun starts to set and the air begins to cool, those south-facing windows get open to let the evening breeze flow through. Upper floor windows play a special role in this whole system. Hot air naturally rises, and the Amish use this basic fact of physics to their advantage. They crack open windows on the second floor or in the attic area at night, which lets all that warm air that collected during the day escape upward and out of the house. The Amish have more rules about opening windows than some people have about using the good china. This pulls cooler air up from the lower floors and creates a natural circulation pattern. The result is a continuous flow of air that keeps the house comfortable without needing a single electric fan. Fresh air comes in where it's coolest, moves through the living spaces, and exits where it's warmest. This natural air conditioning system works so well that many Amish homes feel noticeably more comfortable than houses with actual air conditioning systems. What makes this even more impressive is that it costs absolutely nothing to operate. No electricity bills, no maintenance, no filters to change, and no repair calls when something breaks down. Just good timing and knowing which windows to open when. The whole system depends on understanding how air moves and being willing to work with nature instead of fighting it. But even the best window strategy won't help if heat is being pumped into the house from the kitchen. The only product we'll ever promote on our channel is a book by Claude Davis, a veteran prepper, about 126 superfoods and preservation methods from crisis times like the Great Depression and wartime that are impossible to find elsewhere. We decided to promote his book because we are the last generation able to share these techniques and superfoods to our children or grandchildren. It would be a shame to see this information about highly nutritious foods and preservation methods to survive crises disappear. You can also find a book about herbal remedies from Noticeably on their store. If you're watching this on TV, you can look up our channel, Frugal Solutions, on your phone or tablet and find the books by clicking the link in our channel description or any other video description. Nothing heats up a house faster than cooking a big meal on a scorching summer day. Modern homes deal with this by cranking up the air conditioning and paying higher electric bills. The Amish solved this problem generations ago by simply moving the kitchen outside when the weather gets warm. Summer kitchens are separate buildings or outdoor cooking areas that keep all that cooking heat away from the main house. These aren't just simple outdoor grills either. We're talking about fully functional cooking spaces with wood-burning stoves, preparation areas, and storage for all the cooking essentials. Many Amish families have summer kitchens that are more spacious and better equipped than some people's regular kitchens. The difference this makes is huge. When an Amish family is canning vegetables, baking bread, or preparing a large meal during hot weather, all that heat stays outside where it belongs. Meanwhile, families cooking indoors are basically turning their kitchens into saunas and then wondering why their whole house feels like an oven. Summer kitchens come in different styles depending on the family's needs and budget. Some are completely separate buildings located a short walk from the main house. Others are attached structures with plenty of ventilation to let the heat escape. The fancier ones might have covered porches or overhangs that provide shade while still allowing air to flow freely around the cooking area. The practical benefits go way beyond just keeping the house cool. Summer kitchens also reduce the risk of house fires during the dry summer months when wood-burning stoves are being used heavily for canning and food preservation. The only thing hotter than an Amish summer kitchen is the gossip that gets shared while the women are canning together. Plus, the extra ventilation makes the cooking process more comfortable for whoever is doing the work. Many summer kitchens are designed with large windows or open walls that can be closed during bad weather but opened wide during normal summer use. This creates excellent cross-ventilation that carries away smoke, steam, and heat from cooking. The combination of shade overhead and airflow around the sides makes these spaces surprisingly comfortable even during the hottest days. The seasonal migration between indoor and outdoor cooking also has social benefits. Summer kitchens often become gathering places where multiple family members can work together on large food preservation projects. The extra space and better ventilation make it easier for several people to work side by side without getting in each other's way or overheating. Building and maintaining a summer kitchen does require extra work and planning, but the payoff and comfort during hot weather makes it worthwhile. Some families use their summer kitchens for more than just cooking, turning them into general workspace areas for other projects that might generate heat or require ventilation. The beauty of this system is that it completely eliminates one of the biggest sources of unwanted heat in the home during summer months. While other people are fighting a losing battle against heat generated by their own cooking, Amish families keep that heat outside from the start. Nature provides even more cooling solutions right outside the door. Smart landscaping can drop a house's temperature by up to 20 degrees, and the Amish have been using this natural air conditioning for centuries. Trees aren't just planted randomly around Amish properties. Every single tree serves a purpose, positioned like living, breathing, cooling machines that work around the clock. The west side of an Amish home gets the most tree coverage because that's where the afternoon sun hits hardest. Those brutal late-day rays, when the sun is at its most intense, get blocked by carefully placed shade trees before they can turn the house into a furnace. Oak trees, maple trees, and other large shade varieties create natural umbrellas that can reduce wall temperatures by 15 to 20 degrees. South-facing walls also get protection, but the tree placement here requires more thought. Trees on the south side need to be far enough away that they don't block winter sunlight when the leaves fall off, but close enough to provide shade during summer when the leaves are full. This seasonal adjustment happens automatically as deciduous trees lose their leaves in fall and regain them in spring. Grapevines and other climbing plants get trained to grow up trellises and along walls, creating what amounts to living curtains. These green screens don't just look nice, they actually cool the air around them through a process called transpiration. As water evaporates from the leaves, it takes heat with it, creating a natural cooling effect right next to the house walls. The Amish plan their tree placement more carefully than most people plan their wedding guest list, and it lasts longer too. The positioning of bushes and smaller plants also follows this cooling strategy. Dense shrubs planted near windows and along foundation walls create pockets of cool air that get drawn into the house when windows are open for ventilation. These plants also help block hot winds that might otherwise push warm air against the house. Strategic tree placement does more than just provide shade. Trees also create microclimates around the house that can be several degrees cooler than the surrounding area. The combination of shade, transpiration, and wind patterns altered by the trees creates natural cool zones that extend the comfortable outdoor living space. Mature trees take years to grow, which means this cooling system requires long-term planning that many modern homeowners skip. Amish families plant trees not just for themselves, but for future generations who will benefit from the shade. A tree planted today might not provide significant cooling for 10 to 15 years, but once established, it becomes a permanent part of the home's cooling system. The cost savings from this natural air conditioning add up over decades. A well-placed tree can reduce cooling costs by hundreds of dollars per year in areas that rely on air conditioning. For Amish families who don't use electric cooling, the trees provide comfort that money simply can't buy. Even the most perfectly placed trees need backup cooling methods when temperatures are really sore. Underground spaces naturally stay cool year-round, and Amish families have turned their basements into summer refugees that beat any air-conditioned room. While most people use their basements for storage or laundry, Amish basements become the center of family life when temperatures climb above 85 degrees. The temperature difference is remarkable. When it's a sweltering 95 degrees outside, Amish basements typically hover around 55 to 60 degrees without any mechanical cooling whatsoever. This happens because soil temperatures 6 feet underground stay relatively constant throughout the year, usually matching the average annual temperature of the area. The Earth itself acts like a massive temperature regulator that never needs maintenance or electricity. During heat waves, entire families migrate downstairs for meals, conversation, and even sleeping. The basement becomes a cool retreat where normal activities can continue comfortably. Children play games, adults work on crafts or mending, and everyone gathers for meals when the upstairs becomes too warm to bear. Many Amish basements are designed with summer living in mind. They often have multiple rooms, adequate lighting from small windows, and enough space for the whole family to spread out. Some families set up temporary sleeping areas with quilts and pillows when nighttime temperatures stay uncomfortably warm upstairs. Amish basements are so comfortable in summer that some families spend more time underground than a family of moles. The only difference is the moles never come up for Sunday service. Food preparation frequently moves to the basement during extreme heat. The cool temperatures make it more comfortable to work with food, and items that need to stay cool naturally do better in the basement environment. Root vegetables, dairy products, and preserved foods all benefit from the naturally cool storage conditions. The basement also serves as a workshop space during hot weather. Projects that might be too warm to tackle upstairs become manageable in the cool underground environment. Sewing, woodworking, and other crafts that require concentration and steady hands work better when the person doing them isn't overheated and uncomfortable. What makes basement cooling even more effective is that it works best during the hottest times. While air conditioning systems work hardest and cost the most during peak heat, basement temperatures actually become more appealing as the difference between indoor and outdoor temperatures increases. The social aspect of basement living during hot weather creates interesting family dynamics. Everyone spending time in the same cool space often leads to more conversation, shared activities, and collaborative projects. The temporary change in living patterns can actually bring families closer together. Windows and shutters provide another layer of defense against the summer heat. While most people treat shutters like decorations that never move, the Amish use them as precision cooling tools that get adjusted multiple times throughout the day. These aren't flimsy plastic shutters that blow around in the wind. Amish shutters are built from thick wood that can block sunlight so effectively it turns bright rooms into cool, dim sanctuaries. The daily shutter routine starts early in the morning when temperatures are still comfortable. South and west-facing shutters get closed tight before the sun reaches full strength, usually around 9 or 10 in the morning. This prevents solar heat from building up inside the walls and windows throughout the hottest part of the day. Meanwhile, shutters on the north side of the house often stay open to allow any available breeze to flow through. Thick curtains work alongside the shutters to create multiple layers of heat protection. These aren't the thin decorative curtains found in most modern homes. Amish curtains are made from heavy fabrics like wool or thick cotton that can stop heat from radiating through windows even when shutters are open. During peak summer months, some families hang extra layers of heavy fabric over windows that get the most direct sunlight. The timing of opening and closing shutters requires attention throughout the day, but the payoff in comfort makes the effort worthwhile. Amish families open and close shutters so often during summer that the hinges get more exercise than most people do. By August, those shutters are probably in better shape than half the folks using air conditioning. As soon as the sun moves past a particular window, those shutters can be reopened to allow air circulation while still blocking the heat. This creates a moving pattern of protection that follows the sun's path across the sky. Evening brings another adjustment period when shutters get reopened to take advantage of cooler air. The sequence usually starts with east-facing shutters in late afternoon, followed by south-facing ones as the sun begins to set, and finally, west-facing shutters once the sun drops low enough that those windows are no longer getting direct light. The temperature difference created by proper shutter use can be dramatic. Rooms with shutters closed during peak sun hours can stay 10 to 15 degrees cooler than rooms with unprotected windows. This difference becomes even more noticeable in rooms with large windows or windows that face directly into the afternoon sun. Heavy curtains also provide insulation benefits that extend beyond just blocking sunlight. The thick fabric creates an air pocket between the window and the room that acts like a buffer zone. This airspace helps prevent heat transfer from warm windows into the living area even when the shutters are open for ventilation. Some Amish families take curtain protection even further by hanging heavy blankets or quilts over windows during extreme heat waves. These temporary measures can turn any window into an effective heat barrier when regular curtains and shutters aren't enough to keep the temperature comfortable. Buildings themselves can provide even more sophisticated cooling solutions. Amish home design includes a clever trick that most architects never learn in school. Attached buildings like barns, pantries, and utility rooms get strategically placed to absorb heat before it reaches the main living areas. These structures work like thermal bodyguards, taking the punishment from the sun while protecting the family spaces behind them. The physics behind this protection is straightforward but effective. When the sun beats down on an attached barn all day, that building heats up and radiates warmth. But instead of that heat hitting the main house directly, it gets absorbed by the barn walls and roof. The living spaces stay cooler because they're shielded by this buffer zone that soaks up the solar punishment. Many Amish properties position barns on the west or south sides of the main house, right where the afternoon sun hits hardest. This placement means the barn takes the full force of those brutal late-day rays while the house stays in relative shade. The temperature difference between the sunny side and shaded side of the same building can be 20 degrees or more during peak heat. Pantries and mudrooms serve a similar protective function on a smaller scale. These transitional spaces trap hot air at entry points before it can flow into the main living areas. When someone comes inside from working in hot fields or gardens, they can cool down in these buffer areas without bringing all that heat directly into the kitchen or family room. Amish buffer zones are so effective at blocking heat that some barns work harder at air conditioning than most office buildings. The cows probably stay cooler than most office workers too. Some Amish homes have multiple attached structures that create layers of protection. A pantry might connect to a summer kitchen, which connects to a barn, creating a series of heat barriers between the outside temperature and the main house. Each structure absorbs and deflects some of the heat, so by the time any thermal energy reaches the living spaces, most of it has been filtered out. The attached building strategy also helps with air circulation. These structures often have different roof heights and orientations that create air currents and wind patterns around the main house. Hot air gets channeled away from living areas, while cooler air gets directed toward windows and doors. Buffer zones work especially well because they require no daily maintenance or adjustment. Once the buildings are positioned correctly, they provide automatic heat protection throughout the summer months. Unlike shutters that need to be opened and closed or windows that require attention, attached buildings just do their job continuously. The cost-effectiveness of this approach becomes clear when you consider that these attached structures serve multiple purposes. A barn provides livestock shelter, storage, and workshop space while also cooling the house. A pantry stores food and supplies while blocking heat. Every building earns its place by doing double duty. This architectural cooling method works even better when combined with other techniques. But sometimes the heat becomes so intense that families need to avoid creating any additional warmth inside the house. Heat sources inside homes work against every cooling strategy, which explains why Amish families avoid electric appliances that pump warmth into living spaces. The average home uses devices that generate enough heat to raise indoor temperatures by 5 to 10 degrees. But Amish households eliminate this problem entirely by skipping heat-producing electronics. Television sets alone can add 400 to 600 watts of heat to a room, roughly equivalent to having a small space heater running continuously. Electric clothes dryers pump out even more heat, often raising laundry room temperatures by 15 to 20 degrees and spreading that warmth throughout connected areas. Computers, stereos, and gaming systems all contribute additional heat that forces cooling systems to work harder. Meanwhile, refrigerators and freezers generate heat as they work to keep their contents cold, creating a constant thermal load that modern cooling systems must overcome. Amish homes avoid this thermal burden because their lifestyle naturally excludes these heat-generating devices. Without televisions humming away in living rooms, electric dryers churning in basements, or computers running in bedrooms, the indoor temperature stays closer to the natural ambient level. This creates a significant cooling advantage that compounds with other heat reduction strategies. Electric lighting also contributes more heat than most people realize. Incandescent bulbs convert about 90% of their energy into heat rather than light, making them tiny heaters that happen to glow. Amish homes produce so little artificial heat that even their oil lamps feel guilty about getting warm. The only thing generating heat in those houses is the wood stove, and that gets sent outside during summer vacation. A typical modern home might have 50 to 100 light bulbs running at various times, each one adding warmth to the surrounding air. Fluorescent and LED lights produce less heat than incandescent bulbs, but they still contribute to the overall thermal load when used throughout a home. Amish families use oil lamps or rely on natural daylight, eliminating this source of artificial heat entirely. The cumulative effect of avoiding all these heat sources becomes substantial during hot weather. While modern homes battle against their own appliances to stay cool, Amish homes start from a naturally lower baseline temperature. This means less heat to remove and more comfortable conditions without any active cooling. The difference becomes especially noticeable during peak summer days when air conditioning systems struggle to keep up with both outdoor heat and internal heat generation. Kitchen appliances represent another major source of unwanted heat that Amish families handle differently. Electric stoves, microwave ovens, and dishwashers all pump warmth into homes when they operate. Coffee makers, toasters, and small appliances add additional heat throughout the day. By using wood-burning stoves that can be moved to summer kitchens and washing dishes by hand, Amish families avoid adding this heat to their main living spaces. The absence of heat-generating appliances also means Amish homes have more stable temperatures throughout the day. Modern homes experience temperature spikes whenever multiple devices operate simultaneously, but Amish homes maintain steadier conditions that feel more comfortable and require less adjustment. This heat avoidance strategy works seamlessly with other cooling methods, but the type of flooring underfoot makes an equally important difference. Stone floors work like massive cooling batteries that help regulate temperature throughout the day. Many Amish homes feature stone, brick, or unfinished wood floors that naturally stay much cooler than carpeted surfaces. These materials absorb heat slowly during the day and release it gradually at night, creating a natural temperature regulation system that works around the clock. The temperature difference between natural flooring and carpeted floors can be dramatic during hot weather. Stone floors often stay 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the air temperature in shaded rooms, providing instant relief when bare feet make contact. Brick floors offer similar cooling benefits while also being easier to install and maintain than large stone slabs. The thermal conductivity of these materials allows them to transfer body heat away from feet and legs much more effectively than carpet or rugs. Unfinished wood floors also contribute to cooling, though not as dramatically as stone or brick. The key difference is that wood floors in Amish homes typically have no insulation underneath, allowing them to stay closer to the ground temperature. This direct connection to the earth helps keep wooden floors noticeably cooler than floors with modern insulation and vapor barriers. Wide plank wooden floors also have gaps that allow air circulation underneath, further enhancing their cooling properties. During summer months, many Amish families roll up their rugs and store them until cooler weather returns. This exposes the maximum amount of natural flooring surface to help with temperature control. Amish floors stay so cool in summer that visiting cats often mistake them for the world's largest ice packs. The family dog probably thinks he won the lottery every time he lies down for a nap. Removing rugs also eliminates dust traps and creates easier cleaning conditions during months when windows stay open and outdoor dust gets tracked inside more frequently. Areas that normally have rugs suddenly become cooling zones where family members can sit or lie down to escape the heat. The thermal mass of stone and brick floors means they continue providing cooling benefits even after the sun goes down. While air temperatures might still be uncomfortably warm during summer evenings, these floors remain cool to the touch for hours after sunset. This extended cooling effect makes evening activities more comfortable and helps families transition into cooler nighttime temperatures. Cleaning natural floors during hot weather also helps with cooling. Stone and brick floors can be mopped with cool water, which temporarily lowers their surface temperature even further. The evaporation from damp floors creates additional cooling as water turns to vapor and carries heat away from the surface. Some families deliberately mop floors with extra water during the hottest parts of the day to maximize this evaporative cooling effect. Walking barefoot becomes both comfortable and practical on these cool surfaces. While carpet and rugs trap heat and moisture around feet, natural floors provide a cooling sensation that helps lower overall body temperature. Children especially benefit from having cool floor surfaces to play on during hot afternoons. The hard surfaces also make cleaning easier when children come inside with dusty feet from outdoor activities. The cost of installing stone or brick floors might be higher up front, but these materials last for decades and require minimal maintenance. They provide cooling benefits without any ongoing energy costs and actually improve with age as they develop natural patinas and character. Unlike carpets that need replacement every few years, natural floors become more beautiful and functional over time. When temperatures become unbearable despite all these passive cooling methods, water provides the final solution. Water has been cooling people down long before electricity was invented, and Amish families have mastered simple water techniques that work better than many modern gadgets. The most basic method involves placing buckets of cold well water near open windows. As air flows over the water surface, it picks up moisture and cools down through evaporation, creating a natural air conditioning effect that can lower room temperatures by several degrees. Well water typically stays around 50 to 55 degrees year-round, making it perfect for cooling applications during hot weather. A single bucket of cold water placed strategically near a window can cool incoming air for hours before the water temperature rises enough to lose effectiveness. Some families rotate multiple buckets, keeping fresh cold water in use while warming buckets get returned to the well. Wet cloths become instant cooling devices when soaked in cold water and applied to pulse points like wrists, necks, and ankles. These areas have blood vessels close to the skin surface, so cooling them helps lower overall body temperature more effectively than just splashing water on random body parts. A damp cloth around the neck can provide relief that lasts for 20 to 30 minutes as the water slowly evaporates. Children and adults alike use water for quick cooling throughout the day. Splashing cold water on faces, hands, and feet provides immediate relief that costs nothing and requires no special equipment. The cooling effect happens instantly as water evaporates from the skin, carrying away heat and leaving the person feeling refreshed. Amish families use so much well water for cooling that the local frogs probably think there's a drought going on. The poor things keep showing up at the well, asking if anyone's seen their swimming holes. Bathing in streams, ponds, or hand-pumped water becomes a daily ritual during extreme heat waves. These outdoor baths serve a dual purpose of cleaning and cooling that makes hot afternoons bearable. Some families set up washing areas near wells or hand pumps where family members can cool off quickly without having to walk to distant water sources. The timing of water cooling makes a big difference in effectiveness. Cold water works best during the hottest part of the day, when the temperature difference between the water and air is greatest. Early morning or evening water cooling doesn't provide as much relief because the air temperature is already closer to the water temperature. Wet towels can be hung in doorways or near windows to cool air as it enters rooms. The evaporating water acts like a natural air conditioner, though the towels need to be re-wetted every few hours to maintain effectiveness. This technique works especially well in dry climates where water evaporates quickly. These water-based cooling methods combine perfectly with all the other natural techniques to create a comprehensive system that keeps Amish families comfortable without any electric bills or complicated technology. The Amish stay cool without machines, bills, or noise, just smart design and timeless habits that work with nature. In a world chasing complex solutions, their way is a quiet reminder that simple can still be smarter.